Welcome to Walking with Jesus Bible Study. We're going to be in the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 25. Heaviness in the heart of man maketh it stop, but a good word maketh it glad. I'm going to repeat that. Heaviness in the heart of a man maketh it stop, but a good word maketh it glad. Stress runs rampant in the world today. Our friends become overwhelmed and anxious about factors including, but not limited to, their home life, material relationships, a hostile work environment, or uncomfortable social settings. Anxiety causes our hearts to become heavy and often leads to depression. We must continue to build up one another in times of uncertainty. Encouragement and prayer will renew our spirits and bring light to God's unfailing love. There's a lot of sorrow because there's a lot of pain. And there's a lot of stress because life is overwhelming. Satan is trying to make your life here on this earth already hell. Because see, he's stuck in hell. You know those people who have like bad attitudes and do this and that? They just want to drag you down to their level with them so they don't want to be alone. Because misery loves company. And that's all he wants to do. He don't care about you. He don't care about nobody. He don't even care about the angels that he took down to hell with him. In fact, it is hard to believe the people who have spoken, who have gone to hell, who have cast out demons, who have talked to demons, that the angels, he beat them. Because they're to possess your bodies. And every time a Christian gets saved, so to speak, the demon, you know, when you cast them out and they have to leave, when they go back to hell because they did not conquer you, they get beaten by the devil. Because they didn't keep up their end of the bargain, and it's torture. And see, here's the thing. When you're in heaven, you don't experience pain. You don't have no misery. And here this devil, this beautiful angel, convinced all these other angels who didn't know what fire was, who didn't know what pain was. And now all these time, they have been experiencing pain. Because as soon as they was brought down to hell, they knew what pain was. Anguish. Jane, come here. Thank you. Appreciate it. You're gone too far. Come over back this way. Thank you, ma'am. So, and then he wants to make your life a living hell. Some of us ain't going to be able to experience the so-called hell. Why? Because we're going to be called with the Father. We're going to be living in heaven. So he wants you to experience this hell on earth. He wants you to know what suffering is. And we should take it with gladness. It's hard to do because, you know, who could be glad in pain? Who could be glad in suffering? But God, see, he sent his son. And that's all he knows is suffering. Even God knows suffering. How can God know suffering? He's God. He suffers every day that somebody mocks him. He suffers to know how his very own children, who he put his own breath into, ignore him, disobey him, curse him, mock him, shame him. You're a parent. And if you're not a parent, you're a child. How would you like it if your parent told you that I don't know you, I'm ashamed of you, you're not my blood? And if your child was to say that to you as a parent, wouldn't that just break your heart? Knowing, hey, that's my child, I know that's mine. That's my own blood, man. My own blood hates me. God feels that pain. Except for we only got to feel that from anywhere from 1 to 4 people on average. Because that's about the average of how many people have kids. But see, God has millions of kids. And of all the kids in the world, you add up all the people that hate him and mock him and stuff. You know, that's just pure pain. And God has feelings. He can feel that pain. If he could be angry, then he can feel the pain. You got to remember, he is our Father, and we are his children. If you wouldn't act that way towards your parents, and you don't want your kids acting that way towards you, then how can you do such things to your father? People say, oh, it's so hard. Follow the rules and obey this. I mean, come on now, if it was your parents and you had to live in their house. This earth is God's house. You are living in your father's house. You have to expect the rules. You have to obey by the rules. Because it's his house, not yours. Except for this, the only time you get kicked out of this house is if it comes to get you or death. So you can't pack up and just go over here. Jonah tried. He tried to pack up and ignore God. What happened to him? He went to the belly of the whale for 3 days. And he still ended up doing what he was supposed to do. You cannot run from God. You cannot hide from God. He knows everywhere you go. He can find you in the middle of the woods. He can find you hiding in plain sight. He knows that you're sitting outside that church step, debating whether to go inside or not. Go in. Here's the thing to, some people who don't believe in going to church because some of these religions make you follow their beliefs. That's okay. You don't have to believe what they totally believe in. But you could go into that place because that's still God's house. You can go in there so you can seek worship and use your discernment of when they go to preach and stuff to determine what is the truth and what is not. Which you'll be able to do if you was to stay in the Bible yourself. If you was to stay in prayer and have that good relationship with God. See, now the area where I'm at, because it says you're supposed to go to church. I haven't found a good church yet, but I still attend them. Do I believe what they preach sometimes? No. Sometimes it has good sermons because they are kind of speaking the truth. But I do not follow everything that they say, and I know that some of the things are not true. Are they racist? A little bit. Some of them are. And no, I'm not saying that to be rude, that, it's because it's a white church, because it ain't even a white church. It ain't even an African-American church, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's still, if it's not of their particular race, they're a little bit biased. So you got that in any kind of race you have. And there's a certain group that just only likes their people there, and it's just for them. And do they have a big awakening coming when God comes and say, oh, well, you know what? When they go and say, but God, we was in church every Sunday. God, we was preaching in your name. There was lives coming up and souls being saved. And he's going to be like, yeah, that's true. How many of those souls did you turn away because your skin colors did not match? Or because you just didn't like their appearance and the way they looked? Or because you thought they was beneath you? There's a lot of churches going to have to answer for a lot of things. And it's not your place to judge. It's not your place to set right. God will handle that. Because that's a little bit higher up on the authority level. We're just supposed to, mind our manners. Do as we're told. Use it to our own advantage. You don't have to associate with those people. I didn't. I only went there for the church service, and as soon as they done with the prayer, I got up and left. I don't have to sit here and shake hands with these people. I don't have to sit here and be polite with these people, because I don't need to fake it. If you cannot lie, you're not supposed to be lying. So I wasn't even going to worry about. I wasn't about to talk to these people because I wasn't about to fake. I wasn't about to sit there and fake it. Like that Barbie on Toy Story where everybody's leaving or getting off the airplane and she's just waving with a big old smile. Bye. Thank you. No, I ain't going to fake it. I'm not going to pretend. It's the same thing as lying. Good day. But I went there because God told me to. And it was for good reason.